Well, there's a story waiting to be written if I ever saw one. There's a hula hoop stuck up all the way in that tree. I don't know if it shows up, but it's all the way up the top. And it's making me wonder so many things. Oh look, there's a magpie guarding his hula hoop. Now that's what I call a story waiting to be written. Gosh, it's not every day you go to the park and see a hula hoop stuck in the top of a tall tree, is it?
It was a dark and stormy morning somewhere in Australia when our heroine was woken up by the drip, 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 drip of the leaking swampy. Oh, how hard and horrible to have to get up this early in the morning. Also, this is not actual footage taken by our heroine. This was found on Pixabay because after that close encounter with a lightning strike, our heroine does not go outside in thunderstorms anymore. But back to the story, where our brave heroine has to save the painted staircase from water damage.
They should protect the wood. And I better go take a Panadol because I slept on my neck funny last night, and although I'm not actually in any pain, I can't hold my head up straight, so I think the thing to do is probably take a Panadol and let my neck work itself back up straight, because at the moment I look a little bit like a banana. Oh, what's this? He's finally arrived. Come on, I looked for you, but I couldn't find you. I could hear you. You coming in? Come on, puss puss. What? He's behaving very weirdly at the moment. Come on, puss puss. Unbelievable. You want me to come out there? Probably my socks will get all damp. Oh, you're weak. Bet you regret your wild womanizing ways now, don't you? Come on, let's get the hairdryer. So my coffee is brewing and I am really looking forward to it because the swampy situation got me up early. And I hair dried Eureka and he bit me very hard. Ungrateful beast. I'm so pleased it's raining again, which is very good for Dad's lawn. He's going to be so excited. That was just a few seeds on a piece of dirt when he left, but now it's starting to look like a burgeoning lawn, except for this little patch over here which I was trying to water because the sprinkler didn't reach all the way over there, and if I pulled the sprinkler it would have primarily just watered the courtyard, so I was just trying to do it by hand, but I didn't do a very good job. Oh, and it's greening up nicely up there, so the rain is just what it needs, and he should be very happy when he gets back and sees that. Well, I'm seriously looking forward to them getting home because cooking for yourself is so dull. I mean, seriously, what's the point? I wouldn't even bother if the room didn't start spinning if you don't do it. And yes, I have tried that. Anyway, it was pretty good this time. I did not forget to eat, but I can't wait for them to get back because it's just so boring to cook for yourself. It's coming on all right, but it's not the same as when you've got other people around. Although I do have to say, you've got to love a cherry tomato vine in Australia. It's just going and going and going. We're in winter now, and I'm still getting cherry tomatoes. Amazing. Well, there's my dinner. It's actually leftovers and bits and pieces I foraged from the garden, and I tasted it, and it actually tastes really, really nice, but irritatingly I'm by myself. And do you know what? Not even the cat's particularly interested in being fed at the moment because he's so busy womanizing. I had a kitten come in, but even the kitten wasn't very interested in being fed. And this makes me feel very deprived. I can't say that word. It makes me feel empty because I like feeding things, and I'd prefer to feed humans, but I'll definitely settle for animals, and there aren't even animals to feed, so I suppose I'll feed myself. Oh well. And I'm having some waffles because even with no one in the house, once you start eating, it is actually quite nice. And I've recently discovered that although I personally dislike waffles intensely for breakfast because they have no staying power and 30 minutes later I just need to eat everything in sight, I really do like them as a dessert. I think they make a really nice dessert, but they make an awful breakfast. So I'm going to go back to the Beverly Hillbillies and have my waffles for dessert. Well, this is unfortunate. I had this idea for a YouTube video, which we won't go into, but right now, I didn't have any theatrical makeup in the house, so I thought I'd use a Sharpie, and I'm a little bit alarmed because it says permanent marker on it. Well, that would have been good to read before I started turning myself into the devil. And you guys, it's not really coming off. So yeah, this is turning out to be more of a fiasco than that time I put the cat on LinkedIn and had him follow all the CEOs of major publishing companies. So I really hope I don't look like this by the time Mum and Dad get home, because oh my goodness, what if it never comes off? I mean, I look like a freak. Well, this is not hugely improved, and I've been scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing it, and I've got to say, I really don't like the big beetling black eyebrows, but I have to say that the faint moustache and chin fuzz isn't thrilling me either, and all I can say is that I really didn't appreciate how good looking I was when I got up this morning, but I can't go through life looking like this. I mean, this is maybe Rachel's left some makeup remover. I'm going to go check the spare bedroom. That's usually where I get most of my makeup from anyway. Well, I am crowing over my own cleverness. I'm making a pie, and rather than nurse the filling along for absolutely ages in a frying pan or any kind of pan, I had the bright idea of doing it in the crock pot, which means I've been able to use gravy beef, which is a very tough cut of meat, and slow cooking that. It should be absolutely delicious. And all I did was caramelize the onions in a pan because that tastes delicious. So, feeling very, very pleased with myself, I am. And here we have Mr. Smallweed sunning himself in our courtyard. He is the brother of Skinny Legs Fosdyke, the little ginger one that Eureka spends so much time with. It's all right, you don't have to go away, Mr. Smallweed. He's very shy. He's not even remotely tame because, unlike his nieces and nephews, unlike his sister, he hasn't had the benefit of taming up through his children. You see, Mr. Smallweed's sister, Skinny Legs Fosdyke, is the mother of the kittens, and the kittens have gone tame on us, and Skinny Legs Fosdyke has observed that and become a little less wild herself. But Mr. Smallweed is not at all tame. But that's all right, because he has a very sour sort of expression. It's not really his fault, but he does look like something from a Dickens character, a Dickens book, if Dickens wrote about cats instead of people. And honestly, most of the characters in Dickens' books are pretty awful, so perhaps it's just as well Mr. Smallweed's not feeling friendly. Well, it's been a bit of a slow week on the vlog front, and because I'm a New Zealander, that means you're going to get to look at my garden, because this is what New Zealanders do when they don't really know what else to talk about. Actually, this is what New Zealanders do in general. So a little cultural tip: if you ever move to New Zealand or visit New Zealand and the New Zealander says to you, "Want to look at my garden?" no is not really an option. I mean, you can say no, but secretly they won't be very impressed, because you're supposed to take an interest in New Zealanders' gardens, and you're supposed to take an interest in their chickens. It's just like a law of etiquette, and if you don't, then they're going to think, well, that was a bit rude. So here you go. You can either skip the video forward, or you can look at my garden with me. The choice is yours. So here's our lavender ring, which is coming in quite bushily. We're quite pleased with I'm quite pleased with our lavender ring. Mum and Dad haven't seen it yet. Here is our rhubarb, which of course is refusing to behave like a rhubarb from the northern hemisphere and die back as is proper during winter. I went and chopped it back and everything for winter, and it just kept growing little bits of rhubarb. But that's okay, because I've just kept baking rhubarb muffins, and turns out you really shouldn't eat the same amount of baking that you do for 3 people when you're just one person in the house. I mean, extraordinary. Who would have thought? Who would have thought there would be consequences? But there were, and yes, I might have to cut back for a little while. Then we come along here. This grass, Dad is going to be so proud of it, because this was really just seeds. Well, that's more what it looked like when he left. but it's coming in lovely, and it's looking particularly good down there. Of course, there are some little patches where the watering system didn't quite hit, and I've tried to water them by hand. Well, I forgot, I didn't actually notice this one, but I tried to water that corner one regularly by hand, but I wasn't very good at it. And I didn't want to pull the sprinkler across, because then most of the house would have got wet and it would have been a bit useless. This is growing some kind of berry. I assume it's not edible. What a pity. I really prefer edible berries, I must say. Oh, this is something. For years and years and years, Mum wanted to grow one of these particular kinds of daisy, and she never had any success. And then she came to Australia, and well, it looks pretty successful to me. And here's, oh goodness me, I planted a little piece of pig face. That's what that's called down there. I think it's pig face. Anyway, it's a lovely big pink succulent, and it was just, I planted one tiny little piece, and now we've got all of that but no flowers. And I don't know why we have no flowers, because they got flowers in town, and I imagine that's a big weed, and Mum can pull that out. Actually, to be honest with you, Mum does most of the gardening. She's more practical than me. And there's our crazy path that we put in last year. It's starting to get a few weeds coming up through it. Probably something else Mum will enjoy getting back to. She's really looking forward to getting back to her writing and probably her garden. But she did have a lovely time in England and the Shetland Isles and Scotland and France. I think that's where they went. Anyway, she said it was absolutely lovely. And she said she was telling lots of people about my YouTube. So if you're here because of Mum, hello, she had such a nice time. But that's hardly surprising, because everyone knows the people in Great Britain are absolutely marvellous. The fact that I'm descended exclusively from people in Great Britain, I'm sure has no bearing on my assessment whatsoever. I'm sure it's just a very intelligent, unbiased observation. Yeah, true story. And then we go down here. I'm a bit annoyed with the roses. I thought they were going to produce a whole lot of rose hips, and then I could cook them up and make rose hip syrup. And they are producing rose hips, but they're producing them at such a slow rate that by the time I get enough, the other ones will all be withered. So you see, I pick them when I find them, but then they get all withered. So maybe I should be freezing them. I don't know. It's all very tiresome. I thought it'd be fun to cook with rose hips, but I don't know that that's going to happen. Oh yes, and the tomatoes growing in the rows are getting bigger and bigger. But these tomatoes aren't much good. Even when they ripe, they just taste rotten. I don't know who thought that was a good idea. Oh, what sort of variety of tomato should we come up with? Oh, let's have one that when it ripens, it tastes rotten as soon as it's ripened. Oh, good idea. I'm sure there'll be a big market for that. Well, there must be some kind of market, because we did buy it, but we didn't realise that was the case. Oh, look, there's our tomato growing charmingly draping through the rose bush. Oh, and the lady Banks, or Banksia rose, is getting ready for spring. That's the first rose to pop out, and that will be gorgeous. And there's nothing really very interesting down there. So I suppose we'll bot it back inside. And I think it's about time I had a cup of tea, and I'm going to have to use tea leaves, which I know that's the proper way to do it, but it's also because I've drunk all the other tea in the house, and you guys, I even drank up all of the tea in the camping hamper. So I suspect I'll have to go to town before Mum and Dad get home tomorrow, because of course Mum and Dad are going to want a cup of tea as soon as they walk into the house, and it'd be a bit churlish to say, well, I drank it all, and the whole month you're away I managed to go through all the tea and in the cupboard and all the tea in the camping hamper, and I didn't even bother to replace it. So yes, I think I'll have to go for a little walk to town. Yes, there's nothing quite like a nice cup of tea. I mean, real tea. We do have a few herbal pretenders in the cupboard, but I'm not drinking one of those unless I really need it, like if you feel sick. I will admit the ginger and lemon can be quite nice, and if you feel stressed, chamomile can be quite nice. But apart from that, it's just a sad, sorry pretender, and nothing but actual tea will do. Hello. Now, Eureka, we need to discuss something. Is this a good time? Well, it better be. I do not like this new little system you've developed where you come in, you eat, and then, no, we're talking, excuse me, this is very important. And then, no, I actually need to say this to you. And then you whittle on something. And I've noticed that this has become a little habit of yours, and I don't really like it. And I am particularly offended that the last thing you chose to whittle on was my apron when I was wearing it. And the sad thing is, it took me a while to notice because you're whittling everywhere. So it took me a while to track down that I'm having a conversation with you, a very serious conversation about how I don't really like the fact you're using my house as a giant litter box and you're just not paying any attention to me at all. You just want to flirt with Skinny Legs Fosdyke, and I don't know where you ditched the kitten. Did you ditch the kitten on the neighbours this time? You guys, the other day he came to the door with her and her kitten, and he yelled and howled and howled till I opened the door, and then the kitten whipped in, and then he chased the mother off. And I realised he literally used me as a daycare centre. I would never have believed that. If someone had said to me that cats would use a daycare centre to get rid of kittens, I would have laughed like a drain. And yet, it's perfectly true. I'm glad he doesn't want to come inside. He's becoming very smelly. Oh, the third wheel has arrived. Indeed, there's even a fourth wheel. Well, the house lion won't like this. The children turning up on his date. And he has the added complication with Skinny Legs Fosdyke, that Skinny Legs Fosdyke is actually quite jealous of the fact her children have gone tame, and sometimes they get lashings of jelly meat from us. They actually live next door, but, they're very cute, so what are you going to do? And the house lion finds them an infernal nuisance when he's wooing the mother, because she's quite likely to ditch him and see if she can get a bit of jelly meat herself. And he finds that very upsetting. He really apparently wants to be loved for himself, not his deep resources of jelly meat. Hello, Mr. House Lion. Oh, I think the kittens are at your food bowl. And you know what? You will think that's a really good trade, because it leaves you alone with Skinny Legs Fosdyke, who is your favoured lady of the moment, but by no means your only love, because you're not a faithful beast, not even close to it. Oh, wow! I just came in, and you guys, you're not going to believe this. The mum's come in, and he came in, and they have just had a little scrap because I don't know if she's guarding the food bowl from him, or she wants to eat, or he wants to go outside, or what. But I now have 4 cats in the house. I wonder how Mum and Dad are going to feel about the fact that they left me with a 1-cat home, and now we have a 4-cat home. Well, oh, that's just sad. There's just 1 biscuit left for you. Oh, you know what? I'm going to get her something to eat. That's just too horrible. Just stop that. Just stop that. Right. Now, how am I going to deal with this? Okay. Come on. Let's go. Puss, puss. Come on. The thing is, the mother's going to have to go outside or be outside, I think, because she's nervous. And then the other 3 are going to have to be inside, because otherwise she doesn't get anything. So I'm going to go out here and lure them out. Come on. And then I'm going to grab the tame cats, put them in this handy basket, carry them inside. Right, now I'm going to go and get the Siamese so he can't bash her all up. Come on, you just leave your girlfriend alone. You can come inside and be with the children. We better go to the back door. You might get difficult about being with the children. She can't always be in the mood to be romantic with you. Sometimes she needs to eat, okay? I realise this is hard for you to understand. Now, don't beat up the kittens. And don't spray over anything. By the way, excuse the mess and the rather unflattering shot of my legs. I'm deep cleaning the house for when Mum and Dad get back, so there's a little bit of chaos going on, but it will look lovely by the time they get back. Oh, look. Okay, she's finished. You can all go out now. Out you go. Goodbye. Ha. I think I handled that rather well. Good job, Ruthie. Hello all, it's Ruthie at the end of the week, and I have never liked my face more. Yes, I managed to get the sharpie off. That was absolutely horrendous. As some of you might have the very good question, why was I even dressing up as the devil? Well, I certainly wouldn't have done it a few years ago. I would have thought that was an absolutely shocking and dreadful thing to do, but I have become quite keen on writing satire. And there I was in a house by myself, muttering bits of dialogue. I did this a couple of weeks ago, and I was quite loud. And then I realised the window was open. And I really hoped the neighbours weren't hearing some of the stuff I was saying, because I was working on some pretty awful characters. And yeah, anyway, but that's another story for another time. Anyway, there I was, muttering bits of dialogue for my little satire, and then I suddenly thought how simply marvellous it would be to have the devil endorse his own product for a change, his product of unbelief, his product of God is not trustworthy, his product of he'll never come through for you, so you should give up. So anyway, that's what was going on. I still really like the piece of writing, but I think what I learnt from that was I would definitely be investing in some theatrical paint, and also probably a pitchfork and horns. Oh, I'm so excited because Mum and Dad are going to get home tomorrow, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them. I'm not sure how they're going to feel about the cat situation, because they left me with one cat and they're going to come back to 4, possibly 6. It really depends whether Mr. Smallweed, and there's another cat who seems to be trying to move in. And it's not really my fault because the Siamese keeps dropping these off for daycare. But anyway, oh well, I suppose they'll Dad, I'm sure Dad will be able to sort it out, and by sort it out, he'll just fall in love and go along with the program too, because he's a cat lover. And I've got, oh, my pie looks amazing. That was such a good idea, using gravy beef and then cooking it in the crock pot. I cooked it for about 10 hours, and it looks like one of those pie fillings you get in New Zealand that's all full of delicious big chunks of steak, only it's not steak, it's gravy beef, and it looks delicious. So I'm so happy about that. And I'll be able to get 2 meals out of that because it's a 6-person pie. So I will have a stir fry tonight for dinner, and then that means I've got 2 meals I don't have to cook for, because I didn't know what time Mum and Dad are getting back. Well, we're getting back, but they're getting back tomorrow apparently. So, oh yes, and it would appear that, because obviously with a name like Hamilton, we're very, very Scottish, and it would appear that the great land of our origin, Scotland, had quite a large and deep effect on the other Miss Hamilton. Watch this. Wasn't that hilarious? I thought that was so cute. I had to literally ring her up this morning and beg her to be allowed to put that on the blog. So on the vlog. So yeah, I hope you feel very special. So anyway, I suppose I'll just finish off my pie and then I'll show you how it turned out. Thank you so much once again for watching along at the daily doings at Rosebank House. I so much appreciate it, and I hope you have a lovely weekend. I'll show you my pie in a minute, eh? Guys, can you hear that? Look at that. Look at that. And look at it, it's oozing. It's just oozing. Oh yes, that is a very, very good pie. And Mum and Dad are going to love that, but especially Dad, because Dad is the pie king. And the best road trips are with Dad, because when it's time to stop and fuel up, he knows where the pie shops are. He knows where the best pie shops are. So he's going to be very pleased to come home to a big, juicy, delicious, crispy, flaky beef pie, and I'm so happy because I'm so keen to have them back. So it'll be nice to give them a nice welcome. Oh, and you know what? You want to know a good trick? If you add a teaspoon or a tablespoon, I don't know, I'm not a very exact cook, but you put a little bit of vinegar, white vinegar, in your pie crust, it gets all flaky. And it seems to even work for sweet pies because you just can't taste the vinegar. It just makes the pie golden and crispy. Anyway, that concludes our week at Rosebank House. Thank you so much for following along. I hope you have an absolutely lovely weekend, and I'll hopefully talk to you next week. Bye bye.